everybody. How's it going?
Hello.
Welcome to our very first episode of FlakeyBrunette and the Brain ChitChat. We decided to do 3 of these during the week, just to sort of mix it up a little bit. We typically do podcasts and vlogs and kind of things like that. But anyway, I'm Christy the FlakeyBrunette. See how I forgot to introduce myself? That's why I'm flaky. This is my partner in crime, the Brain.
Will the Brain.
As you can see, we have a completely blank wall. We usually don't have a blank wall. We just moved to Asheville. We usually have things, like this up on our walls, and who wants to stare at a blank wall while you have 2 really passionate Trump supporters talking about all the facts? So we definitely prefer facts over feelings, and I talk more than him because I'm a crazy chick. But anyway, so let's start today. We have a couple things we want to talk about. Let's start today.
We'll start with Trump's tweets today.
Oh, okay.
That have people pissed off.
I love Trump's tweets, by the way.
So today's tweet, as has been stated by numerous legal scholars, I have absolute right to pardon myself, but why would I do that when I have done nothing wrong? In the meantime, the never-ending witch hunt led by 13 very angry and conflicted Democrats and others continues into the midterms.
People have gone ballistic about this. Did you see the posts on NBC on Facebook?
Let's hear it.
They were just saying that was one thing they took. Trump declares, he can pardon himself. And it was just all this clickbait stuff.
They managed to take out the fact that he said, but I never need
right,
to.
Yeah. Or that he didn't do anything wrong.
He hasn't done anything wrong. But they kept it where it says, I can pardon myself.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's ridiculous. It's just more mixing the narrative. I don't know if you've noticed, but NBC has really started pushing some crazy, scary propaganda.
Like why white nationalists vote Republican, and how basically all Republicans are white nationalists.
Yeah, that's how they label us now, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I looked on Twitter and I saw some people's reactions, and some of them were kind of funny and made me chuckle, like LOL, that's funny, one person said, and you're so batshit crazy, hey, thanks for the hearts. And one I found that was pretty interesting. It says, is this how the innocent behave? The very idea of pardoning yourself shows something is wrong. No one is seen as angry, but instead everyone sees you angry, and you're constantly talking about Russia. Innocent people sit back and wait for the verdict. That one in particular got me, because first of all, I think Trump is really a good mastermind. If you hear noise, my dog is running back and forth right now, so unfortunately he doesn't always cooperate. If you have a Shiba, you'll understand. But anyway, the thing about this that really got me was Trump's not scared, first of all. Trump didn't do anything wrong, and I think he's just basically standing up to Mueller saying, hey, you're not going to find me guilty of anything anyway, so, and if you do, it's clearly going to be lies, because for me, you have to look at it as, it's not like Trump has had a normal presidency, right? I mean, people were spying on him, there was an insurance policy put into place, there was the whole fake dossier. So Trump decided that he would come out and say this. I think it was a pretty bold move. I mean, clearly he's not going to pardon himself. Clearly this is all, for me, I think, just a distraction for the Dems.
Just to give him something to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, Giuliani, he has some stuff to say about it too.
Trump probably has the power to pardon himself, but has no intention of doing so.
Why would he? He didn't do anything wrong.
And Kellyanne Conway said, it's ridiculous because you don't pardon yourself when you've done nothing wrong.
Right. And everyone, is completely freaking out about it, and I find it stupid. Trump is playing hardball. Trump is it's just a warning sign. It's just, I think, really to distract the Democrats, personally.
Give them something to scream about.
Yes, hey, look over here, guys. Look at the shiny object. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to make America great again. I'm going to keep getting stuff done.
Speaking of getting things done, we can talk about his achievements that he's done.
Yeah, today was his 500th day in office. Yay!
Congrats. Some of his achievements have been he's reformed taxes. He's created 3 million new jobs, 304,000 of which were manufacturing, 337,000 which were construction. So many more that we don't have listed.
Yeah, I mean, the unemployment rate's dropped to 3.8%. That's the lowest it's ever been since April of 2000. I mean,
black unemployment went down to, I believe it was right above 5%.
Yeah.
Or 5.6%, and that's the lowest it's been in decades.
Right, yeah. Exactly. I mean, you basically have to be blind if you don't look at all the great things that Trump is doing for America. Literally, you have to follow the lefties' really silly narrative.
Right. He moved the embassy to Jerusalem like he promised. Both Clinton and George W. Bush promised but didn't follow through. And this is something Congress approved back in 1995 as far as funding goes, so there's no excuse.
Yeah. Trump got into office and he kept his promises. He pulled us out of the Iran deal, which I don't know if y'all have read about the Iran deal. It's like a really bad deal for us to be in. It was basically designed to keep Iran from developing nukes, but it was too big to actually make it happen. And so basically it was just a band-aid on it, you know, for like the next 10 years to try to keep him out of it. Right. So, I mean, it was a really good thing that Trump pulled us out of that.
And then we've got the talks with North Korea as far as denuclearization.
And guess what? World War III hasn't started.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody said this is going to be the end and North Korea is going to fire upon us. Trump got the best of Kim Jong-un and he got rid of all his nukes. Like, Trump called his bluff.
Yeah, you know, they're saying first it was going to happen, and then it's not going to happen. And then, but Trump left the window open because he's a master negotiator. And look, it's going to happen again. Yeah, I mean, we're still watching, hopefully. We are. You know, thanks for the hearts. You know, we don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that Trump isn't afraid to play hardball. And we do know that Trump is not going to back down, and he's going to do what's right for America.
Right.
He also signed legislation to provide $7 billion in defense spending. He's basically worked really hard with our other U.S. allies to try to break down ISIS, and he forced immigration laws.
There's been 110,000...
Hey, Russia, you did not make me vote for Trump. Sorry.
110,568 arrests made. 9,290
of these illegals.
Of them had criminal charges, and they were...
ICE fugitives. I would have loved to go to the Trump rally. We'll take a second to talk to y'all because we really want to have a really good open communication. We wanted to go to the Trump rally, but we did not.
It was like 2 hours away.
Yeah. We regret not going. But as we said, we just moved, so we're sort of really trying to... You did a couple weeks ago. Was it awesome? Yeah, it was awesome.
I bet.
I would have loved to have gone to that.
Mine was huge.
Yeah, I bet it was. But you had to get there early, huh? So now let's talk about your favorite person and all the hogwash.
David Hogg?
David Hogg!
Stupid.
So apparently, you know, this is why we're talking. I'm tired of talking about David Hogg. I tell him all the time, do we have to talk about David Hogg again? Like, I'm so tired of talking about this child. But we have to keep talking about it because apparently the Parkland students are going on tour this summer. Yeah, they're...
It's a 2-month tour called The March for Our Lives, Road to Change.
So basically it's 50 stops in 20 states, and they're basically they want to rally young voters and campaign to end gun violence. One of their biggest goals is to educate voters, but I don't know how David Hogg's going to educate voters considering he doesn't even know where he was day of the shooting.
That, and first of all these youth are not old enough to vote.
There is that.
And he also, he joined the NRA, which... The only reason I can see as to why he would join is because he wants to be like, see, there are NRA people who support gun reform. Like, he's the only one.
And he keeps talking about, like, common sense gun laws and common sense legislation. Like, I even talk about some flaky legislation that they, you know, that they want. But I've looked a lot. I've followed the story a lot. And I haven't been able to find exactly what they want besides maybe banning bump stocks, and they want to raise the gun age, and then they want universal background checks. But you find things wrong with all three of those, right? Like, tell them what, like, a bump stock is.
A bump stock is any attachment that can be added that basically when you pull the trigger, it just keeps shooting it back and forth. So all it's doing is shooting a semi-automatic gun faster, which you can do with your own hand if you shoot fast enough.
Right.
But it's not an automatic gun.
Because automatic guns, they're banned, or they have, you know, they're really, really regulated since, like, back in the 1930s. And so as far as, you know, raising the gun age, I don't understand what good that would do, really.
It didn't solve the Texas shooting. He was 17.
It didn't. And not to mention, I mean, you can go to war, I think you should be able to buy a gun at 18. And as far as universal background checks, aren't those... Aren't those already in there? Isn't that already a requirement? I tell you.
It's so stupid you have to laugh.
Right? If they weren't trying to take our Second Amendment rights away, it would be really, really funny. We went to our local March for Our Lives here, well, not when we lived in Greensboro a couple months back, and the people, they were confused. They had no idea what they were talking about, and eventually we had to leave because I asked a question I wasn't supposed to ask, and people knew we were
She
adults.
compared something to abortion, and this guy got annoyed, and then every time we kept talking to people, oh, she's a anti-abortion troll.
Oh, yeah.
And then they all walk away, and we couldn't talk to them.
Yeah. If you guys want to see the videos on our YouTube channel, FlakeyBrunette, but you bought a gun, so why don't you tell them about nobody is going to take them away no matter how much the liberals cry about it. I agree with you, but my thing is, if the kids in Parkland, they're going to continue to fight to take our guns away, we have to continue to talk, and we have to get out there and vote, and we have to get out there and educate people about what the gun laws actually are. And of course, they vary from state to state. So if the left isn't going to give up, then we can't give up either. I feel like we can't afford any longer to be the silent majority. I think we have to get out and vote and educate, and everybody do whatever part it is you feel like you need to, what you feel called to do. You know, we enjoy talking about facts and putting liberals in their place because it's a lot of fun. But that's just me. But you know, just even if you just retweet Trump's tweet, you know, once a day or whatever, that's helping. Getting out and voting is a big deal. But so about gun control and about your experience with buying a gun.
Well,
let's talk about that.
As some of you may already know, we own a Glock 19 9mm. We own a 12-gauge shotgun and an AR-15.
Right.
So we've been through
which is fun to shoot.
Which is very fun to shoot,
Yes.
and we've been through the process of buying these. We know what it's like. We can tell you firsthand. Buying a rifle and a shotgun, at least in North Carolina, they do like what's called an instant background check because typically those are used for sport and
Like hunting.
Yeah. And so the instant background check, at least in North Carolina, takes about 10 or 15 minutes. You put all your information in the computer. Then you kind of walk around the store, they'll call you back, and then tell you if you got approved or not. So you get approved, and you can buy it right then. With the handgun, however, the background check will usually take about a week to 2 weeks. You can apply online or in the sheriff's office, and then you go down to the sheriff's office and sign the form, and then wait the week to 2 weeks. Then you get an email back or a notification that says it's approved or denied. You go pick it up. That sheet of paper you have to take to any dealer, any store or private dealer, hand them that, and they have to have that as proof. Either that or your concealed carry license. And if you don't have that, you cannot buy a handgun.
Right. Where did we get my shirt? We got it in D.C. actually on our honeymoon, because we went for our honeymoon at the Washington, D.C. store right next to the White House.
The visitor center.
Yeah, the visitor center, that's what it was. And you were telling me earlier, we were talking about, you were saying that the shotgun and rifle has a shorter time limit because for a background check, because you were saying handguns are more easier to conceal, and I realized that.
You can hide it. You can't normally hide a shotgun and a rifle that easily.
Right.
Handguns, you can bring them out in public and nobody would know, so they have to be very strict about that.
Right. I had read an article where handguns are used in like most mass shootings. Of course, you can't purchase a gun if you're a felon, if you have like a domestic violence charge, or if you're deemed mentally unfit.
By a doctor, yes.
Yeah. And the thing about David Hogg and all the little Parkland kids, the thing about it is, one, you can't say anything about it because, oh my gosh, then you're a bully, which is complete crap.
You're bullying these kids. How dare you? They went through such a tragedy. Well, David Hogg wasn't even there, apparently, according to him, so he was in his room.
Yeah, he was in his room, and then he got on his bike to pedal down to the school to interview his friends, which is a really strange reaction.
Not to go see if his friends are okay, but to go, well, I gotta do my journalist.
Right, yeah. But, he's postponed college to be an activist, so I think in that case, that means that he's fair game. If you're going to be an activist, if you're going to speak out on whichever, or you can't buy one if you're an illegal. You are correct. Very good.
You have to be a U.S. citizen.
You have to be a U.S. citizen. That is correct. I totally forgot where I was going with that.
You were talking about him avoiding college.
Oh, right, avoiding college. And so, on both sides, we're going to speak out on both sides. You definitely are going to get criticism. We do all the time. Racist, Nazi. My favorite one I ever got was I got called a terrorist one time, which was great and funny because I was speaking out against Tommy Robinson, or speaking, for supporting Tommy Robinson, which is total injustice, by the way, and I'm really, really upset about that. And he should not be in jail. He is one of my political heroes.
You should hear her each day. She's very, very eccentric about that.
Well, because, and I said this on my last video, he was my 89th follower on Twitter, and I remember that because it made me feel like I was doing something right. And I know he follows everybody, and I know that. And I know he's banned from Twitter now. But, you know, what he does to speak out about Islam, and all he did was tell the facts, and all he was doing was reporting. So, hey, look, our troll's back. Hi! Hi, we missed you. Hi. So, you know, that's all he was doing. And now, you know, he got arrested, he got tried and sentenced all in one day. And that is not how that happens. That is a whole other video, which I made last week if you want to check it out on our YouTube channel. But that's it for our first FlakeyBrunette and Brain Chit Chat. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We've enjoyed talking with you guys. We'll be back Wednesday night. And you can, of course, check out... still making... but you can check out everything, all our political work on FlakeyBrunette.com. There is a PayPal donation button. We would love any donation. We'd be completely appreciative. We are currently, our dog chewed up our cord, so that's why we didn't do the podcast last week, in case you guys haven't heard. Yeah, chewed it up, so we got one on order. So hopefully we're going to start doing the podcast on Sunday now. So hopefully by this time Sunday we'll be able to resume it. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. We really appreciate it. Have a great night, guys. Bye.